Well, hello there, humans, bees, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and whoever you're lucky enough to be doing it to as I adjust my microphone. I'm Bushka on Blitz. Thanks very much for joining me here on channel today. I love the support. I appreciate the community, and you guys are pretty freaking awesome. So thanks for letting me do something that I love doing day in, day out, and that is making videos and just basically having a lot of online friends and living the life of Peter Pan. This is the Leopard 1, and this is No Clan. No Clan is a good player. No Clan does very, very well, and he drives this tank to within an inch of its life. Now, this is not a review of the Leopard 1. This is a review of the tactics that No Clan's using, and it's a new series I'm doing called I don't know, I call it Tactics. Let's call it Tactics. Just did one with the FV4202, and I'm doing one with the Leo 1 because I found this quite interesting, and I really like the idea that this game puts out there. The Leo 1 is being driven correctly here, absolutely correctly, and this drives people insane. They hate camping. They hate people that camp at the back. But what would you have a tank that has an eggshell-like armor profile, a laser beam gun, and superb mobility? I mean, this is kind of the way you want to do it. You can play it up the front, and at times that will happen, but it's got to happen naturally, and it's got to happen as the game moves. What I like to see from a Leo 1 is shots on target, because it's got such tremendous damage, and that's exactly what you're seeing here. And I love the fact too that this is not something that I've ever really done before. I haven't just grabbed a Leo 1 and reversed up this back mountain here the way that No Clans did, and it was really, really impressive for me, and that tickles my fancy, because no matter how much you think you know everything, you just don't, right? Now, the Leo 1 is fragile. I did mention that. And you can see here, as soon as he pulls out in the cover, someone is looking at him because he hasn't reset his camo, and that's a mistake. And he's very, very lucky that he only cops a 213 damage shot there. If that had been a bigger caliber gun getting a full score on him for HE or something along those lines, he would have been really, really in dire straits, and this game may never well have featured. But it didn't, and it does. So let's watch it and move onwards. Come, JG, taste my hash, says Babadook. Isn't Babadook like a Russian folk monster or something? The Babadook? I don't know. I'm a widely read human, but I can't be right on everything. Tell me in the comments section below what you think, humans. I love the fact that this game builds. It's like a good score or a good innings in cricket, or putting on a big number in the NBA or something. You do 8 points a quarter and suddenly you got 30 at the end of the game. And that's exactly how this game feels. He started off at the back. He tore apart the tortoise. And now he's starting to shred that Leo PTA and Co. And again, he's taken another gun out of the game. Now, some would say, well, he's just farming damage. Well, please let me know what else the Leo 1 is meant to be doing. Is it meant to be taking shots at the front and bouncing shells with its incredibly awkward Russian armor profile? And I mean, no, he's playing this thing to within an inch of its life. And I love this kind of play where you take a tank, you find what it does well, and you do it. And it's now 2-on-2. And this gun has been singing. This gun has been in the game non-stop. And yet, there is still over 3 minutes to go. And that's the hallmark of a well-played game and a well-played tank. It's when you've been able to be effective in the battle the entire time. And that's exactly what's going on here. Things are getting very tight, though, now. Our amigo here, No Clans, has run out of other humans to basically farm off. The chieftain says, thank you, Leo. Fair enough. He's allowed to be a little bit salty there. I mean, he was farmed off. Finish or reported. I love that. I love that. Oh, Blitz. There's nowhere else in the world that you can get this kind of salt. I mean, and that's mild, but you should see some of the replays I haven't used because of the language in them. It's pretty awesome. Now, the Leo is doing exactly what he should do. Absolutely what he should do. He has moved way, way, way off the reservation. He's overlooking the cap, so there's no way they can sneak in that encounter cap and get shots on him without him having something to say about it. And he's able to use his superior camouflage and his superior, well, for lack of a better word, DPM, to actually work these guys over. And it's going to be very, very interesting because there's an STB1 here who has outstanding view range, but the Leo is stationary. And I like the fact that No Clans takes his time on that one. Now, he's saved up all those hit points for this occasion right here. Drop the adrenaline. He knows the E100 is in the cap circle. Bit of a mistake there as he rushes and opens himself up, but he wants to get this kill, and he does. And he manages to dodge a potentially lethal shot from the E100. Really one of only 2 errors that I saw that were big ones in the game was that missed shot on the STB where he could have just made a nice trade and not resetting the camo earlier. But I really have enjoyed this drive. And it's everything you want out of a Leo drive. It's crazy, crazy damage. It's absolutely brilliant tactical play. He's hardly put a foot wrong, and he's brought himself down to a situation where he's a chance of winning. But this is no guarantee. Oh, it is just about now. Look at that shot. Now, the E100 150mm gun has an average alpha roll of 960. So if he actually gets a gun on the Leo could be in strife. But our amigo, no. But our amigo knows what he's doing, or does he? Oh! E100 repairs that ammo rack damage. Go to a little bit of heat. Angle up that front armor profile, mate, and just pray to RNGesus. Those prayers are answered. Now, that was a fantastic game, and it kind of went in reverse to the game that you're about to see. This is a game from John Public Beta, who was good enough to send me along the video, but didn't actually send me along the results screen. It's a massive game, though, and a really lovely example of how the Leo 1 should be played. I like the fact that he chooses his course of action based on the best possible information available. He's pushed up here. There's a bat chat there in front of him. There's 6 unspotted red tanks, but there's 5 greens here. And in fact, there's a medium in the lower part of the heavy section. There's a bat chat here. All of them are spotted, and none of them are getting hit. And there's a lot of unspotted tanks. So the only real option there is the other tanks aren't there from the red team. And rather than waste his time going clockwise around the map through their spawn, he pushes straight up to the top and starts getting shots across the map. I also like how switched on he is. As soon as he fires, he pulls back, just in case someone is there to show. And just as well, he didn't go screaming through spawn. Look what was there. Very, very interesting. I also do like the fact that when he pulls back and realizes that he can see all the tanks in the map and knows that he doesn't have to worry anymore about getting spotted, he just starts setting up shop here and farming damage. And that's the sign of a player that really is situationally aware. And it's what you want to see on your team. He plays it from here on in very much like a pivot. He goes middle when the shots are on, and then when the shots are not available, he rolls hard down and across into the corner. He does this the whole time without actually putting his tank in any great danger. Now, you might say that the last game was a little bit campy, but I would disagree. Anytime a Leo 1 is in the game and is putting constant shots in, I mean, look at that shot there. That stops that mouse from getting around that corner and chasing that ST1. So anytime a Leo 1 for me is in the game and his gun is firing, that's a good time. And much like the last game, when the shots are not available, John Public moves. Now, if a Leo 1 or any other tank is just sitting there in the corner and they're not taking shots, or in the middle of the map, or they're just sitting there, not doing anything, with one of the best guns that the entire game has ever seen, then you know things are bad. But that's not the case here, not the case at all. He's now driven right in here to where the shots are available. And this is the mark of a good Leo driver. If the only place the shots are available is 20 feet away from a mouse, a AMX, and a T54, then that's where you need to be, because if your gun's not working, your gun's not doing anything, and you may as well not be in the game at all. You could be AFK and you'd be doing just as much. 2 on 4, but the ST1 has had a whale of a game. He's held this flank despite the fact that I think he probably shouldn't have gone here in the first place. He's made the most out of it. He made a good decision to stick at it and then got supported very, very well. Now, we all know how often that doesn't happen in Blitz, where you make that decision to stick at it and then the rest of the team just leaves you there and they don't move, they don't get proactive, they don't engage the enemy. But not so here. The ST1 and John Public Beta, despite being 2-on-3, have managed to turn this into an isolation game on the AMX 50B, even though they only have 2 tanks to the 3 tanks of the Reds, because they've been really, really active here, and they haven't mucked around too much with the whole Campy McCamperson. Bit dangerous for the ST1, because obviously that AMX 50B has an awfully large clip when he can get it firing, but they managed to clear him and now make it a 2-on-2 game. The Waffle Tractor is going to push around the back and have a crack at the ST, and there's a VK4502B that is going to push up here through the middle. The thing is about the Leo 1, once you get into hit point trading situations and all the other tanks are gone and you know exactly how many hit points are left on the table, well, then it becomes a very different animal, because then it becomes a damage per minute race, and the Leo 1 can dump damage like an absolute boss. It's the best in the game as a medium tank, along with the 62A and the Object 140, at just straight up dropping massive wads of damage in a burn 'em down fight. The problem we have here, though, is that is a 150mm gun, and 150mm guns can pen Leo 1s for 960 average alpha. So you end up in a situation where both these tanks can do massive amounts of damage to each other, because the Leo can pen with HE, and yet neither one is willing to take that risk and just turn it into a DPM race, because it's just a massive risk. That Waffle could easily, if he rolls high, clear this Leo in 2 shots, but he doesn't. He fires a round that only does 620 alpha, and you can see this DPM go pouring in like absolutely monstrous. And that's it. That's all she wrote, boys and girls. And a lovely, lovely game from John Public Beta. Now, I don't have the results screen, but he must have done about 6K. Let's call it 6K. Kilometer. Let's call it a kilometer. It wasn't. I'm Bushka on Blitz. I hope you're enjoying yourself. I hope you're at Tank Fest. I hope you're saying hello to me, and I hope we're all having a jolly good time. Until next time, look after yourselves and stay safe on the battlefield.